Around the Day Sports. Please like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram. Enjoy the show, and we are your hosts.
I'm Jack.
I'm a mom. And that's it. In case you didn't notice, where's Drew and Jesse? Fortunately, not with us today. We'll see them. They're absent today. We'll hope to see them on our next episode. So,
where you guys at? You got to come back.
Thanks for the people waiting. We've got 5 people been waiting for us. Glad for your patience. And here we go. So kick it back and enjoy the 2-man show, you could say. But let's get right to it. And we got a few topics to discuss. Of course, we have an unfortunate passing of, you could say, a NASCAR icon. Oh, I got a comment already. Hey, Drew, what's up?
What's up, Drew?
Hopefully you join it. Hopefully we'll see you next week. But yeah, as I was saying, we had an unfortunate passing of, you could say, a legend of the NASCAR world, the great Kyle Busch. Fortunately passed away at the age of 41. We're going to talk about his legacy, you could say, what he has done in his grand career. Of course, we got the NBA and NhL. As you know, conference clash is happening. As we know, we see one series that's practically the NBA Finals, while the other one is pretty much an ass whooping. And then a bit of some NFL news. The great Aaron Rodgers. As you heard, if you guys got all the news, it will be his last stance in the NFL. So we'll break it all down. But there's one more thing to discuss, and that's about the San Francisco Giants. As we know, the MLB season is approaching about a third of the way there. And, the Giants finally got to 20 wins. So, about time. But there was a certain game, if you guys saw, that I want to say, Vitello, it's not your fault. You went for the right approach, putting Matt Gage on Marte, and Marte did something that he couldn't do, and unfortunately, it happened. And if you saw the announcers, when the announcers are quiet, that's when it's like, yeah, that's pretty much how the Giants season has been. But that one was like, come on, they should have gave us this one for once. Like, can we catch a break? Like, Marte hits a off-speed slider that was probably 4 feet off the strike zone, and somehow he hits it on that side of the field, which he has never done before. And yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, Vitello, I know you're you're being the leader, you're taking the blame, but honestly, and for the Giants, that wasn't your fault. It's just what we saw was totally unexpected. Jack,
Yeah, I mean,
any more input?
I've been watching the Giants for many, many years. I've never seen them just go pure silence after a team hits a game winner, especially when it's this. It's not late in the season. It's not like we're approaching August or September, near where you guys start winning playoff games. It's not near the beginning of the season, and this is already happening. And do you ever see that one scene in what's that movie called? It's with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. A Good Will Hunting, where the therapist is saying to Matt Damon, "It's not your fault." That's that's Giants fans for Tony Vitello, and because Matt Gage is not a bad pitcher. He's decent, and he's also in the league, so that makes him technically pretty good. But it's just when Ketel Marte hit that bomb, it just felt like we were doing the commentating. Because if it was me commentating, I would just drop the mic and I would just walk out of there. I'd be like, oh yeah, we're leaving Arizona.
Because it's just that. So anyway, what we're talking about is the sixth. So as we know, Giants did get swept last game, but that second game, I know we were only up by 3 runs, but it's right there, and we make the right analytic decision. What, righty on a lefty or what, or Was it righty on a righty?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, I'm not sure about Marte, but anyway, it was kind of like pretty much the analytics of going against the batter. That was the correct move. It's just on the second pitch, he decided to chase that slider, and of course, I guess he must be a power hitter. He hits it off the same side, and that was the analytics. He has never done that before. He hasn't even hit a home run, I don't think, that season until then. And it
Yeah, I
just
think that was like his first of the year.
that was first of the year, but his issue was against uh, that sort of situation, and he pulled it off. And it was just like, you gotta be kidding me! Like I saw that, and I just like walked away. I just walked away for a moment. I was like, you gotta be kidding me! Because I wasn't mad of like what Vitello did. It was just like, you're serious.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like Ryan Walker, I'd be like, okay, I get it. But Ryan Walker's in like
Triple A.
the AAA now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that for just a little quick talk about the Giants right now. They got the White Sox coming up, so we'll see how that goes. But moving on, it's time to talk about the great Kyle Busch. You could say I don't know much about NASCAR, but just doing a quick research, this guy was it's quite impactful just in the sports world in general. He he was born at he died he died today recently of this day, and it hurts. I mean, he has won combined over 230 races combined, two-time NASCAR champion. 63 of the 234 was in that series alone, with a month of a lot more wins than other little like tournaments they do. And this one, I guess, if you maybe don't know NASCAR, it's kind of like the name you should know. And it's just fortunately dying at such a pretty young age at 41. Jack, do you have any more like history you may want to share or just some thoughts?
I mean, when I first started, like, because I mean, I kind of watched NASCAR when I was younger, and he was like one of the first guys that I started watching. Guys like him, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon was like my personal favorite one. But I mean, this guy had like such of like some of the best accolades. Like Amon said, two-time NASCAR Cup Series champ, won the Xfinity Series in 2009, NASCAR Truck Series seven-time owners champion. He's got 63 wins in his NASCAR Cup career. This guy is considered to be one of the legendary NASCAR drivers of all time. And him passing away 5 years ago, I'm sorry, not 5 years, 5 hours ago. And when I saw this dude, I'm like, yo, what? Because he was just one of the guys that one of the guys I knew. And he was also like, if people like kind of like look at how like cool like their car looks and everything, he was also one of the guys that drove the M&M's car. There's the yellow one, and I mean that's when I think I first saw him in like that car. But rest in peace to the legend, man. This is a heartbreaking death in the NASCAR community and in the sports world also.
Yeah, definitely in the sports world. And in case people are watching, I don't know if you don't know much NASCAR, but if you know the name, may share your thoughts on this unfortunate passing. You know, a lot of like even not just in general, a lot of like great from like even actors, voice actors, and just legends like Kyle Busch are just like dying too soon, you know. And yeah, it's just a bit unfortunate. But to try to at least lighten the mood a little bit, as you know, we have a conference clash going on. We got the NBA and the NHL. But of course, we have before we do all that, we have some awards to share. As we know, Cooper Flag edging Knipple for Rookie of the Year. As we know, the first all-rookie first team is set, has been selected as Flag, Knipple, Dylan Harper, Edgecombe, so you know the usual. But here's one you guys didn't. I guess you guys never even heard of this guy. There's a player named Cedric Coward who was drafted this year to Portland, and I guess maybe got dropped or made some sign-in trade or like a trade, and goes to Memphis. And he actually, I don't have the stats on my notes, but I looked at it, And I could see he was very productive with Memphis, and he got in as all rookie first team. So in case you guys didn't know, unexpected.
Let's see,
And then
what's his name?
Sa-
Cedric Powers?
yeah, Coward.
Oh, Cower.
And then on all rookie second team, there's actually a Sacramento Kings player that got selected.
Yes, in front of
Jack,
him.
Jack, do you know the name of the Kings player that got on our rookie second team?
Um,
I know
it was like Maxime Renaud or something.
or something like that.
He,
Yeah. So
he
yeah,
made that second team.
I saw him play with the Warrior game I went to. He was pretty good. I'm glad he got at least into that sort of category, at least for rookies. This.
Yeah, glad the Kings got some kind of award.
But what do you think for the option? Of course, the one that probably everyone may be talking about. SGA winning back-to-back MVPs. Congrats for him. He's a hell of a player. But Jack, do you feel like there's an issue with that? Not just of SGA. Do you feel like it's there like in general of the MVP?
I think the NBA and Adam Silver are way obsessive over this dude. It's like the movie. You ever guys heard of the movie called Obsession? It's like this guy.
I know of it.
Yeah, you don't know of it, and those of you that know of it also like those you don't look it up and go like see it this weekend or something. But it's like that, but like SGA has that feeling with like the refs and Adam Silver. It's just too much. He did not. He to me he does not deserve MVP. SGA had a good season. Don't get me wrong, and he's a hell of a baller. But I I sometimes look at like stats on how he did in the entire season, and I mean he still did a great like job in the regular season, and he led his team to like one of like best record in the West. So that's obviously nothing to like snooze at. But I mean, him averaging 31 a game is really good. But I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out like this certain kind of stat. I'm on. You can continue while I'm figuring this out.
Well, we got some comments from Drew watching, and he's thinking we should get rid of the 65 max rule for the awards. So Drew, maybe share a little more insight on like what do you think it should be? Yeah, what do you think it should be then? But yeah, okay. But yeah, instead of 65, what do you think? Should we all judge us based on the entirety of the season of when they're playing instead of just going based on they have to get to a certain amount and if they do really well, they're selected? Because, yeah, let us know, Drew. But yeah, I'm going to have to agree. Like, SGA, heck of a player. Because I saw the vote counts. When it comes, as you know, in all awards, they go by first, second, third, and whoever's like the highest of each category is practically the winner. And of course, SGA took 83 of the 100 people, 83 of 100 of the first place, where like Wemby and Jokic, not so much. And hey, Kate Cunningham was just thrown in there. He had a chance to win MVP. I just feel like give it to Wemby. I mean, your guys, we're not going to see a guy like this. I mean, of course, you got the Steph Currys, for the greatest three-pointer, but like to see a guy that's practically like got the Eiffel Tower in Texas, and right now is practically the kryptonite to the Thunder. As you know, we're going to talk about that series. As I want to say, forget the NBA Finals, guys. You're watching the NBA Finals. If the NBA never merged and became the ABA, there's your championship series. It's like, but we'll talk more about it. But I just feel like Wemby deserves it. That's just me.
Yeah.
The SBA, hell of a player, no doubt. Like, we've seen his skills since he's been in this league. It's good. It's just maybe like just give it to the. I mean, I was gonna give it to the big man, but I know Jokic got one, so I can't really say that.
I think Jokic has got like two
or two, but it's like you think that there should be more variety. I know I get you see the votes, you see the players, you just know those players, and you're like, you want that. Like Curry was on there, people go for Curry, LeBron, Durant, etc., etc. So it's not like, But yeah, I mean, I do agree maybe with Drew. Perhaps can changing the system on going for people to if you start this many games of this many you're in, maybe can they maybe just go vote for all of it? Maybe they go from all the games and all the games they played and just look at the stats. Since we're all talking, since stats is a big thing nowadays, maybe just focus on that, on the entirety instead of just focusing on just how many games they're starting. And maybe it can be a little change or a little different people that gets a chance. Because there's a lot. When you join the NBA, you know you're like you're there. You're in that next level of competition. You know.
Yeah. And like in response to what I was like trying to find earlier, so I was looking at like the stats of SDA. So he dropped 31 points, but however, he went to the free throw line like 9 times, and the amount of free throws that he made was 8 times. So eight of his 31 points, that is 25% of his points. 25% of his points come from the free throw line. And I actually looked up this number. That is actually one of the biggest numbers. Like him and Luca. Well, Luca at least like averaged 2 more points than SGA, but that's still like a pretty decent portion amount of your points. It should honestly like if you want to like be known like a good like be like a really good basketball player and all this other stuff. Like LeBron, most of his points and like even 20 like I don't think even 25% of his points ever came from the free throw line. I mean, you can try to look at the stats for like years and years, but it's just he gets to the free throw line too much. And even when he like does or like doesn't, he always like begs for a foul every time he even gets like touched. And I mean, he did not deserve anything. And the fact that Victor Wembanyama came in third is kind of insane to me. Like that I know Jokic, like Jokic is always gonna be really good. Is he gonna still want to be in Denver for like the entirety of his career? I personally do not know. But I mean he averaged a triple double, so that's nothing to like say, hey, that ain't nothing. But we've seen that from Jokic before. Have you ever seen anything like how Victor Wembanyama plays? How he's like the first time ever unanimous defensive player of the year. I don't know if anyone else unanimous defensive player of the year. And it's just also the way he's been playing in the playoffs has been pure insanity. I know it's like based on regular season, but seeing Victor Wembanyama, I saw him in New York once. It's like I literally seen someone that's not from this planet. Like that's why they call him the alien. It's just something I've never seen before, and he makes dunks and like certain plays look extremely effortless. Like it's not even worth a try for him sometimes. I can't believe Victor Wembanyama didn't win MVP. That's my honest opinion. SGA is a good player, but I don't think he should not have won MVP.
Because I mean, like, of course, Cade, pretty soon maybe he'll have a chance to win MVP. And he didn't get much of the votes, but it's like, all right. But yeah, as we're pretty much summing up, we we don't like SGA winning MVP. Not just because of the player. It's not just because of the player and the play style. It's just I just feel like I don't know, fair chances or something. I don't know. I'm just
I don't like OKC. And no offense to the people that live there, but it seems. And the crazy thing is, the Clippers had SGA. If they were just patient and held on to him, maybe the Clippers would be here.
Well, you say that. As now, let's get to a little conference clash. Yeah, let's get through like a conference clash we got. We got the NBA and NHL. In the NHL, a surprising one. Vegas steals home ice from Colorado. I believe it was 3-1. And
it was 4-2.
4-2. And I was like, I feel like that Colorado Vegas matchup they're practically neighbors, so at least traveling isn't difficult. But that one, I felt like that's going to be a good one. And I know I heard Colorado did not have their best defender in the game, but still Vegas managed to win because you know why Colorado's number one seed. They came back down 5-1 or 4-1 on Minnesota to win a series just for a gentleman's sweep. So when I saw Vegas having that Vegas kind of like dominating, I was like, oh, it's like I'm not worried because Colorado came back from a much more deficit, and well, Vegas held on, and who knows? Just make that series interesting. What are your thoughts on Colorado?
Um, I mean, Colorado was like the best team in hockey this season, and it wasn't even by like it wasn't even that close. It was kind of like by a wide margin. But the Golden Knights are like known to be a good team. Um, I'm surprised they dropped 4 goals on the Avalanche on like while being on the road. But like they without their better defender, who's Caleb McCarr.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he played, this is a whole different like hockey game. Because he's one of their key players, and if he like rejoins them in the next game, which I believe will be tomorrow, yeah, Friday at 8 o'clock. And if he's like healthy and will play, then I believe the Avalanche are going to win game two, and I still think the Avalanche are going to win the series because they're the better team, and I like their roster better.
I feel oh yeah, but their roster's through and through. But I feel like we might. I just saying early here, we might have another game seven with that series. Vegas, these two teams, they both won Stanley Cups, so they're trying to like regain what they once had. So it's just the battle for might. In the East side, Carolina had a 2 week break. Well, that didn't matter because you're taking on the real Canadians of Montreal. They had to battle through two game sevens to get to this point, and they go to Carolina and practically just beat them. I mean, Montreal with the score of
6-2.
6-2. So it's like, whoa, this team went through two game sevens with only a 2 day rest against a team that literally had a 2 weeks rest, and they go over there and win 6-2. Like, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that, Jack? A team that is a rest over is a rust? Is it what is it?
I would
What do you
definitely
think?
say it's rust. I mean, you haven't played, in an opponent in about 11 days before. So you're just like either sitting at home with like your wife and kids or whatever, and also you're going to practice, but it's nothing like playing against like an opponent. This was their good chance. I think the Hurricanes did not lose a playoff game yet until this happened. I think they got all the rest off they needed to get, and they'll come back and just like the Avalanche, they'll win game two. And I also have the Hurricanes winning the series as well.
Okay, so you got your Avalanche.
The Avalanche and Hurricanes. So both what would you call it? Both like
I mean, I got Montreal all the way, but I just know like in just my small moments of watching hockey, there's a certain point for Carolina where they just collapse because I think they had like last year, 2 years ago, they were up like 4-3-0 and they choked and lost the series. I don't know if it was this round or was it next the round before, but it's like because Carolina probably they're a good team. It's just when it comes to postseason, it's totally different. But you see what they're doing, and you can see this deep, like almost Cinderella like run, you could say, on all these more like surprising runs. Because I bet if people were trying to predict, they probably didn't have Carolina. I mean, at least Carolina, at least the second round, and that's that. But instead, you see them now in the Eastern Conference having their best chance to win a Stanley Cup, which probably hasn't happened in a bit. Don't know top of my mind, but yeah. And then of course you have Montreal. They're like desperate as ever. They're dying to get the Stanley Cup back to their home country, especially in Montreal.
yeah, I can't remember. I don't even remember the last time like the Canadians won a championship.
That's how bad it is. And right now, Montreal up 1-0. We'll see how that series pans out. And the same for the West. The West one's probably the more watchful eye because I feel like it could go to six. It might be surprising gentleman sweep, or maybe just go straight to a good old fist fight of Game 7, literally.
I think both will go. I think both series will go to Game 7.
All right, I see that. Maybe 6-7. I would say 7-6. People are watching. Don't do to me. Um, let's get to NBA. And should we talk about the one that's practically over already?
Well, I mean, Yogi Berra said it ain't over till it's over. So
They are till it's over. But as you know, for the Cavs, they finally got to a point without LeBron. They got Donovan Mitchell, and like Cleveland's trying to win because LeBron gave them a title. Now they're trying to win without him, you know. And they're at this point where they're just one game. Here's the question: now, do you? I don't. Well, here's what my thought. I don't think that Garland trade was smart. I know the success hasn't been there for Garland with Mitchell, and you got Mobley and Allen. But then it's like you don't go too far. Then they make this trade for James Harden. As we know, if you know James Harden, his success rate in postseason, literally he pretty much has his best chance to at least have a fighting slim chance to somehow win an NBA title. Doesn't seem like that's happening, but for Harden to Cleveland, it's such a downside, right?
what, like it's a bad thing that James Harden went
I
to the
think it's
Cavs.
I think it's just bad. I feel like maybe that Garland trade. I know like the success wasn't there, but maybe I know they should have waited a little bit more instead of just trading out Garland. I know he's been for the Cavs for a bit. I thought he was going to be there forever, and then as we know, that trade happened. I'm like, what the hell,
Yeah.
right? But what do you think? Is there any way for the Cavs to try to scavenge a win or maybe make us a little comeback?
Um, I mean, I think the Cavs will win at least one at home. But right now, I mean, they fully exposed James Harden. That's just how it is. And I mean, James Harden's never really been a good defender. He was a good defender though when he was like in OKC, when he was like in his young days. But like when he was even when he was in Houston, he wasn't really that good of a defender. And even like now, and even like Mike Brown was saying, yeah, we're totally exposing him. So that's pretty much been their game plan. And I didn't really watch tonight's game, but I didn't really watch tonight's game, but I did see that the Knicks, well, they
Yeah,
straight up
the
dominated
Knicks
them.
had this time the Knicks had control because game one, um, 22-point comeback is it's great. It's like wow, that's amazing. But in this generation, 22 is like nothing.
Yeah, but that is actually the greatest Knicks comeback like in franchise history.
But yeah, then there's that factors drop. Greatest comeback franchise history. Here's something about Cleveland in general. They can't get away of the 22 number 22 cycle. I saw this funny like Sports Center clip that they found of like this one guy that's kind of this whole conspiracy for Cleveland, and he discovered that the number 22, there's something about that number they can't get away. And he breaks down of all this like history of all the sports teams. But here's hey Jack, did you know the Browns? Sorry, we're going to go NFL real quick. This is the fact that kind of just I didn't know about this. Did you know the Browns had a chance to go to the Super Bowl?
I think so. When was this? Like in the '90s?
Yeah, it was Super Bowl 22. We got Broncos, Redskins won by a long shot. But we could have had the Cleveland Browns against the Redskins in Super Bowl 22 because of one scenario, as he broke it down. It's called the fumble. Some people have seen Super Bowl moments, or maybe their parents, if your parents share that detail, ask about it because I didn't know that. Like, if this scenario, anyway. But the funny thing about 22 was it was the Broncos player wearing number 22 to ruin the Browns' chance to at least have a get in the Super Bowl. But then there's like all these other things for certain other players, and it's just this whole thing of like they can't get away with number 22. And anyway, I just thought to share like it's kind of a interesting fact, but the video is funny on like just like of this video of just this conspiracy guy realizing about number 22. As you know, the Cavs blow a 22-point lead because they made MSG as quiet. They made the whole up. They made the whole city of New York as quiet as you never heard before, and then all of a sudden it erupts like an earthquake. But let's get to the most exciting series, practically the NBA Finals, which has ended in now. Let this be the matchup. And that's the Spurs and the Thunder, SGA and Wemby. But not just that. Have you seen how brutal the matchup has been?
Yeah, they're beating the hell out of each other.
Like it's like if they were like if they were like NHL, they would imagine how many fights and brawls we would probably witness.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but just like, what do you think of the impact of that series? I mean, I know it's best of 7. Heck, make it best of 9. I feel like even if it gets to the end, it's like you want more, even though they'd be like they'd be like be so mentally exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, this is by far the better series. I mean, I'm not like discrediting the Knicks or the Cavs, but these are the two teams that everybody wanted to like play against each other in the Western Conference Finals because you have like SGA winning MVP, and he's like the future of this league, and he's like really good. And then you got on the other side Victor Wembanyama, who's like also the future of the league, who's one of the craziest players we haven't ever seen anything like before. And them going at it, I mean, sometimes you want them to go to like 7 games. Sometimes you want them to go to like 11 games, even if you wanted to go that far. But in that series, I personally want the Spurs to win. I think it'll be better for basketball. I think it'd be great for basketball if it was the Knicks against the Spurs, who I also saw in New York. So hopefully that happens.
Right now in the East, it's clearly New York, unless something tragic occurs. And yeah, just like but that way, each game could literally it could go to overtime literally every game if it could. And yeah, like just so impactful. Like it's just finally it's like, and if people like probably been watching all the NBA playoffs, but like people like Jack and I, we were probably just waiting. It's like, let's wait, see what the conference is like. Like, okay, now it's a good time to watch it. As you know, the NBA isn't as. Of course, you're rooting for your team, but it's not like as exciting as it once was. If you go back to like the mid 2000s, as we all know, and such. But yeah, probably impactful. What's your prediction for East and West?
I kind of mentioned earlier, I want the Spurs and the Spurs
Like
and Knicks.
Spurs and 6, Spurs and 7.
Oh no, wait, sorry. I
That's
got
what I'm saying.
I got Spurs in 7, and then for the other one, I got Knicks in 5.
Yeah, I got Knicks in 5, and I got Spurs in 6. I even called it after that game 1. I'm like Spurs in 6. Even I knew of course the Thunder winning it because if the Spurs go up 2-0, it's like, but they won it, so on. Well, it's time for a little NFL news, as we know. Hey, Juan. Juan saying winner of the Thunder Spurs series win the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
And then Drew saying you want a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals.
Yep, the year I was born, there was that matchup, and I think the Spurs won in 5 games.
So let's see. Let's see some history renewed. So yeah, well, our last subject to talk about, that's the NFL. NFL season slowly approaching, but as you know, we do have. I did not do this, but we do have some breaking news in that fact. and that is Aaron Rodgers is calling it after this year. As this will be pretty much his last dance, you could say, in just the NFL in general. So, Jack, what are your thoughts on
Um,
Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, I was expecting him to retire last season or during like at least the off season because I mean there's just not really much production with like him being on the Steelers because there's nothing really to take away. Because once, and we'll get to that in a second. Then I mean Aaron Rodgers he had a great career. I mean he only won the one championship with the Packers, but like since that he would just keep coming up short and all that stuff. Is he like one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game? I honestly don't really think so because of like how later in the career, like how it's like kind of been downtrending and like all this like saying all this weird stuff and like how he like would skip OTAs and all these other things. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's a Bay Area guy, so I'm gonna give him that. And he went to Cal, as you guys already know. But I wish him the best of luck in his final season.
I mean, being a multiple All Pro and giving Green Bay a champion, bring Lombardi back home, it just feels like you should. I know, like you said, all that stuff what it's been recently, and you see that, you're like, I don't know. But if you just think the overall success underneath Brett Favre, and then pretty much, uh, sorry, like underneath the behind Brett Favre, and then just like the kind of like turning that, pretty much almost like turning it around in a way to then like I know Brett Favre, of course, he's definitely won some Lombardis for Green Bay, but just for Rodgers, I just feel like it's kind of like he made into this era, like this new era for Green Bay, and then now like the torch is passed to Jordan Love now, and he's trying to carry that and so on and so on. But like Rodgers, kind of like he kicked it off for Green Bay, and in that time, and I just feel like as just being a beloved Packer, hope it's not the Grouch tour. It would be good if you finish in a positive high note, given he has a great career. Of course, like I mean, just hearing this, of course, as a just being a Rodgers fan, hopefully he can make one more like postseason appearance. Could happen, but as you know, the NFL is quite competitive nowadays, and as we know, we made our predictions on our last episode about the Steelers. So, but we'll see. But as hearing Rodgers retiring, no, I'm going to root for him. Hopefully, he can get into the postseason for one last run. And yeah, I feel like just all his overall great success. I feel like he should be a Hall of Famer. For people watching, let us know what you thoughts if Rodgers should be a Hall of Famer or not. But yeah, it is quite sad. Just me, just having, just I'm already like reflecting on like all the games I watched, and I know, of course, postseason wise, the Niners and etc. But as you know, he did bring Lombardi back home. So yeah, so yeah, see, one, two, look, your dad, absolutely Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not a Hall of Famer. He's definitely going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, I thought I misheard you. I thought you said he shouldn't be.
I was just saying like he's not one of like the greatest like quarterbacks of all time.
Oh, okay. We'll go that category for that.
Or don't get me wrong, he's up there, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a lot, but I mean, definitely. I mean, should be all Famer. Anyway, so Drew, I know you're not with us, but thanks for helping us from afar. Thing we forgot to mention. A little breaking news, you could say. So, as you know, the Rams decided to go for on their first round pick via Atlanta. They did what Atlanta did with their first round pick, draft a quarterback. The Rams did the exact same thing. They went for Ty Simpson from Alabama. And of course, that one's like, what the hell? And then you just think of all these speculations. Is it for Stafford? Well, today he signs a 1 year extension. So it's whatever his current deal is, it looks like he's staying for a little bit more time.
Yeah, he has. Like I saw his contract. He'll now have like a 2 year, $105 million contract
Okay, but like,
for being the lesser NFC West quarterback in our division.
yeah, but I mean, it's not like, is it surprising for Stafford to stay?
I mean, after you drafted Ty Simpson, it kind of is. Now you're gonna make Ty Simpson wait 2 more years and just have him sit on the bench.
Yeah, because the reason to bring this up. It's more like a Is Stafford, Stafford finally winning, left Detroit, finally wins Lombardi,
Yeah.
and that was it pretty much. We'll see about this year, but it's just a little like surprising. Like, you draft a quarterback. If you didn't draft a quarterback, then it's like, okay, we probably won't be talking about this. Be like, okay, Stafford signed, good move. That'll be that. But it's just, you drafted a quarterback in the first round. When you draft QBs in first rounds, usually it's like, hey, like, are you gonna now? As Jack just mentioned, now you're gonna like now is he getting a little Jordan Love treatment almost, in a way, like a short term of it? Like, who knows? And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really our quick thoughts about it. Nothing really much more to
But
say.
now as a Niners fan saying this, I mean, we don't like Stafford one bit. We don't like him. We don't like the Rams. We don't like Sean McVay. We don't like anybody in a Rams uniform. So Niners, when you head to a different country, make him regret his decision very, very badly.
You want to end his career now?
No, I don't want to end his career. I just want you to give him hard hits.
So hit him hard, but not try to kill him. Gotcha.
Yeah, make it painful, but not killing painful.
Okay. Yeah. As we know, we made our predictions of that division. I got the Niners in second, being nice, and Rams in first. As you know, it's going back to LA. As we know, last time it was in LA, Rams won it. So, as we don't know, we'll see what this year holds.
Yeah, Niners better beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, well, we just can't wait. We just can't wait for the NFL season. That's when we really get to start talking, us and the whole crew.
Yep.
In general. Well, I want to say thank you. Make sure to leave. Sorry. Four inches.
While Mon's pushing, trying to figure that out. Thanks, guys, for listening, and we appreciate you listening in on us. Hopefully,
Hope you enjoyed. Happy Memorial Day.